following program is the work of broadcast students from the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the past week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on BCIT magazine, BCIT job action continues into a second day.
Police in the Lower Mainland crack down on texting while driving.
And RCMP remember a fallen comrade.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Carly Babcock.
And I'm Matthew Hunt.
BCIT's 3 staff unions are still looking for a new deal. They want a comparable wage to other university staff and instructors. This Monday, all BCIT campuses were closed because of job action. Support staff at BCIT's Aerospace Technology Center in Richmond were off the job. That led to their second consecutive day of cancelled classes on Tuesday. Jordan Liang has more.
Support staff pickets outside of closed doors here at BCIT's Aerospace Technology Center. The BC Government and Service Employees Union represents the support staff and is demanding a fair deal from the provincial government.
What we're doing here is taking a stand against the government and the discrepancy between a research university and an institute of technology.
As a result of the strike, classes are closed to students, the same trade students that Christy Clark promoted as the future of the province's economy in September.
We want to know that they are getting the best possible training we can offer. And that's what BCIT is doing right here.
But the recent job action has interrupted that training. BCIT staff is not in the classroom to teach their students because contract negotiations with the provincial government haven't been going smoothly. The employees are finding themselves confused. Among those employees is BCIT's bargaining chair, Corey Langford.
Well, it's almost two-sided. We're kind of confused because she has this big job first plan where she's really pushing, get people into the skills trade, help the BC economy grow, and yet at the same time, we can't get our students in because we can't get the faculty into the programs to teach them.
Normally, students are working on planes in this hangar behind me and furthering their education. If the labor dispute continues on much longer, students may have to make up the missed time over the holidays. It also means that trade apprentices that are here just for this semester may have to return again next year to finish the education they've started. Jordan Liang in Richmond for BCIT Magazine.
Joining us live now is Jordan Liang. Jordan, what's the most recent update on job action on BCIT campuses?
Well, Carly, as of this morning, there's nothing new to report. Earlier this week, the BCGEU served the institution's 72-hour strike notice on behalf of the school's trade instructors. Now, those trade instructors can take to the picket lines as early as Friday, but as of right now, there's been no announcement as to if that will happen or not.
And Jordan, are members of the BCGEU feeling optimistic that they can get a deal done soon?
Well, I spoke with Corey Langford earlier this week. He's the chair of the bargaining committee for BCIT. He says it appears at the moment that the BC government is in no particular hurry to get a fair deal done, adding that students should prepare themselves to miss more class time. Back to you.
Thanks, Jordan. One of the busiest emergency departments in BC will be closed for at least 2 weeks as crews repair damage. It's from a flood caused by a construction accident on Monday. Dirty water poured into the emergency room of Surrey Memorial Hospital after a water main broke. It forced staff to move 25 patients to other parts of the hospital. A temporary urgent care center has been set up at the hospital for now, but ambulances will transport emergency patients to other hospitals until the ER at Surrey Memorial reopens. And BC's traffic law that prohibits drivers from using a cell phone while driving has been in place for at least 2 years now, yet police continue to hand out a steady amount of tickets to those distracted behind the wheel. Jordan Liang has more.
This Burnaby RCMP officer is looking for distracted drivers using their cell phones. And it didn't take long before he caught the first offender. BC's distracted driving law was introduced in 2010, and I asked commuters stopped at the Lougheed and Willingdon intersection in Burnaby how they deal with the rule.
I've got hands-free here. And you can always see some head bobbing up and down, and what they're doing is texting somebody, so it's a pain.
There's all different devices. I see lots of newer vehicles that they have hands-free built right in, but they're still on the phone. So I think everybody should smarten up a little bit.
Yes, it is against the law.
Have you ever done it before?
I did in one occasion and never would do it again.
But other commuters haven't quite received the message. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., I spotted 9 drivers using their cell phones while stopped at a red light. 6 of those were texting for 5 seconds or more, and 3 people were holding their phone directly to their ear. Traffic Authority says using a phone, even when the vehicle is stationary, is still dangerous.
Saying I'm doing it at the red light, I'm not causing a problem, it's not really a true statement to the fact that when you think of the situation when you're not responding to the light changing, you're now creating a dangerous situation. So when people start changing lane to go around these people, or now we get a road rage incident because a person is not moving fast enough, that's where it becomes dangerous.
Now, the fine for operating any electronic device while driving is $167. So that's something drivers may want to keep in mind, especially when they could be allocating those dollars towards the upcoming holiday season. Jordan Liang in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
And close to 5,000 people paid respects at a full regimental funeral for an RCMP officer who died on duty last week. Officers from as far as Washington State and Australia marched in the funeral procession to honor Constable Adrian Oliver. Sana Ringwala filed this report.
A sea of red uniformed officers were led by bagpipes at the Langley Event Center. 4,200 officers from all over the world marched in remembrance of a fallen comrade. Friends and family with 3 generations of RCMP members watched as pallbearers carried Constable Adrian Oliver's flag-draped casket. Constable Oliver died last week when his cruiser collided into a truck. The officer was granted a full regimental funeral, second only to a state funeral. His wife, Constable Sheila Mitchell's voice was filled with emotion when she talked about her husband during the funeral service.
Your kindness inspires me to be a better person. Your goofiness reminds me to stay a kid at heart. And your dedication motivates me to try my best in anything I do. You are the love of my life, and I am so proud and thankful that you're mine.
A longtime family friend and chief superintendent for the RCMP, Andrew Boland, remembers what Adrian Oliver was like.
A very thoughtful person, very caring, compassionate, and loved life. He was a fabulous young man, and it's a real tragedy for the loss.
The 28-year-old officer joined the RCMP in 2008 when he was posted in the Surrey Detachment. This was the 42nd Regimental Funeral in British Columbia. Sana Ringwala in Langley for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine, community gardens try to crack down on people stealing the harvest.
And a new farm is operating in an unexpected place, a rooftop.
This is me. And my mom and dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack. This is the day I learned that sandals got their name from sand. That jellyfish aren't made of jelly. That stars don't just come from the sky. That the ocean is bigger than all of us. This is the day we all got to forget I was sick. This was my wish.
Members of a First Nations clan in northern British Columbia have evicted surveyors working on a natural gas pipeline project from their territory. and set up a roadblock against all pipeline activity. The group said surveyors for Apache Canada's Pacific Trails pipeline were trespassing on their land.
The city of Vancouver continues to drive towards its goal of North America's greenest city by 2020, and it's made a significant advance in urban food production. Our Matthew Hunt was in downtown Vancouver to see the launch of a commercial farm operating on a rooftop.
In this case, we had an underused parkade, so leasing this for the greenhouse right here in our downtown is a win-win.
The Alteris Verticrop system was unveiled as a local garden became the first farm corporation in North America to produce vegetables at high volume from a downtown rooftop.
We dedicate vast resources and land to cultivation of food, and yet access to healthy, clean food is a concern for many millions of people. From this 6,000 square foot operation, we can grow up to 150,000 pounds of fresh, sustainable produce. Today we have Trevor Bird, executive chef from Fable Restaurant and Top Chef Canada finalist, serving an inaugural salad to commemorate the official opening of Local Garden Vancouver.
They say this product isn't ready yet, but to be honest, for me this is like prime product, and I would want all of this to be like this, but I'm sure it'd be expensive as hell.
I think it's amazing. It's going to help so much.
Elementary students participated in the grand opening of the $2 million facility. And despite the enthusiasm, one concern raised is that urban farming could negatively affect large farms in the Lower Mainland.
This is no substitute for the many farms that supply food for our city, but we need to have both. We need to make sure we're growing what we can, what makes sense to grow within the city, and this is a very innovative approach to growing greens in a whole new way.
Where a parking space once laid vacant is now being used to meet an ambitious goal to put Vancouver on top of a healthier world by 2020. Matthew Hunt in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. The Richmond Community Gardens provide a place for gardeners to enjoy organic gardening and produce delicious vegetables. But as Franny Karlinski reports, there is now a concern over people helping themselves to the harvest at the Terra Nova Rural Park.
From vegetables to chickens, this garden project is creating a productive space for the Richmond community. But food theft is a growing problem.
You've got this beautiful giant zucchini one day, and you show up to come harvest it to make some zucchini bread or a quiche, and it's gone.
5 years ago, this community garden was fence-free, but these days, many of the 100 plots are surrounded by makeshift barriers.
During times of recession, people become more focused on food. It becomes a priority. Seeing food being grown in public spaces, many people think that that food is just available for free.
Although it's considered a good neighborhood, Dring says 30% of Richmond's population is below the poverty line. The park is also home to the Richmond Sharing Farm, where volunteers grow and harvest fruits and vegetables for neighbors in need.
But I know a number of my neighbors have been affected on a regular basis. It could be because there's a sign which says the Sharing Garden, and that's where they grow food from the food bank. Maybe people see sharing and think they can help themselves.
And this is a split rail fence.
The city is currently opposed to putting up fences.
So there's other mechanisms that can be used. You can be savvy about your planting, so you can put things near the front of your garden or around the boundaries that people don't really want to take or that they don't recognize. Signage is really, really important, particularly signage in either multiple languages or visual signage. Really all we can hope is that the people who are taking food from gardens are people that really need it. And so that helps, I think, to deal with some of the